Well, let's talk now to Navin Singh Khadka, environment correspondent with the BBC World Service, joining us from London. Welcome, Navin. So delegates have agreed that they will at least discuss compensation for poorer countries affected by climate change disasters. How significant a breakthrough is that, and what sort of form might that take?
Well, actually, they have agreed to actually not talk about liability and compensation, but discuss about climate finance as agenda. Now, it remains to be seen how detailed would that be. But the initial agreement is that about finance didn't happen before, and that is being regarded as an achievement, whereas some negotiators from poor countries say that the avoiding of this compensation was not something they wanted, but it's a compromise. But then again, it will go up until 2024 when final finance will be discussed. But then, yes, there's something significant, as COP27 said during the opening.
We're struggling to hear you, but we'll continue for a bit and see how we get on. So in terms of that question of who foots the bill, is that really going to be the primary focus of this summit? Because it's about building, of course, on what's gone before and the agreements that have been made and actually implementing.
Yes, so basically, how will this be done? That remains a thorny question. It'll need to be discussed, although there are some mechanism at place, for example, some kind of insurance mechanism or funding pools. But will especially poor countries agree? That's the question. And that is something that needs to be discussed. But again, it's the agreement that they will talk on finance, on loss and damage. That is key here. But then it remains to be seen how it goes ahead.
How much is riding on this summit?
Well, see, the thing is, they are calling it implementation summit, implementation COP, which means that, lots of negotiation talks that have happened in the past. There needs to be an action now because of all these warnings that we have been hearing. Imagine at 1.1 degrees rise, we are seeing what we have all across the world, all these extreme weather events, damages. So therefore, they're saying that we need to talk about action now. But the question is, will it happen? And this entails lots of things like climate finance. Would you have the money to fight off, to bring down emissions, or to adapt to the inevitable impacts? And now, as we just now discussed, loss and damage. But the overarching thing is about reducing emissions. How is that going to happen? Because UN is warning that we are not in the path to attain the goal of 1.5 degrees as it stands. So there has to be a drastic change in terms of how we consume fossil fuels and reduce emissions.
Thank you very much, Navin Singh Khadka, environment correspondent with the BBC World Service.